Radio.
Special technique. Special technique of shadow boxing.
Yeah. What's up, folks? Here we are on the new show for the Boxing Source here, June 21st, 2015. I am James Bell, the host of the Boxing Source radio show here on the Amarin Broadcasting Channel. You can be sure that you catch our sister shows that are on Tuesday nights at 8:30, which is the Cohort Truth on Sports with Matthew Long, and the CMT Firestorm Football Talk Show Wednesday nights with Kelly Mike, Chi-Town, Clausel Mathis, and the Mouth of the South, Tony Watley. Those are shows that are on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 8:30 on the Amarin Broadcasting Network. Also, just wanted to make sure that y'all go on to the GoFundMe fundraising project for Nakari Jones, who's a young prospect that's going for gold, the 2016 Summer Olympic Games. You could go to GoFundMe.com and look for Train for Gold, TRAIN, 4 Gold, and look that up and you'll see the information about Nakari Jones and pitch in to help out with the cost of training, equipment, travel, and more. So be sure to catch that. All right, so we had a very, very, very busy weekend this weekend in boxing. We had at least three high-profile fights yesterday, and we also had something on the undercard of the Broner-Porter fight with Errol Spence Jr., what they call the Truth. So we'll be getting into that. Plus, we may touch on a little bit the show that was on earlier today on Premier Boxing Champions with Antonio DeMarco and Bartholomew, who fought earlier today. The number to call in is 347-237-5539. Once again, 347-237-5539. You press one key to get on queue, and you'll be live on the show. We have somebody coming in right now, 317-263. State your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, how you doing? This is Jamal. Is this Bell's show?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Brother Jamal, you coming in from boxing from the boxing brothers, right? You coming in?
Yeah, I'm Jamal Stennis.
Yeah.
I'm the one that runs the group Boxing with the Brothers on Facebook.
Yeah, gotcha,
okay.
Man. How you doing today?
All right, how you doing? Who am I talking to?
Yeah, this is James Bell here. You called the same show.
Okay, you sound different than last time I talked to you.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it may be the mic or something like that, but, trying to get things, normalized because, it's still a work in progress as far as, getting the clarity and everything is concerned.
Well, get it right, man. Just get it right. Everything falls into place. When I started out doing radio in February 2000, took a few shows to get things right, but then after I became my own producer and everything, and I had the show running like clockwork.
Gotcha, man. Gotcha. No doubt.
But I wanted to speak on the fights for this weekend.
Yeah, I was about to touch on that here. Just go give the rundown of the fights right quick.
All right.
Yeah, so, first off, we were going to go through that high-profile fight on Premier Boxing Champions on NBC last night with Adrian Broner and Sean Porter. And Porter basically, got that decision win over Adrian Broner, but, it seemed like that was a very sloppy fight. Porter was still Porter, and, my expectation was before the fight when I made the prediction that Adrian Broner was going to be able to outbox Sean Porter. And I've said many times that Kell Brook basically gave a blueprint. But, however, Broner didn't let his hands go, number one. And then when he had the chance to move, he didn't move to the side. He moved back. And when he moved back, he kind of like opened himself for anything that Porter had and ended up having to clinch him. So that's what led to that point deduction that he had later on in the fight. And the only good things that he had was, I think it was like the fourth or fifth round, and then that down that he had where Porter basically left himself open, bouncing around at the beginning of the 12th round.
My breakdown though of Broner at this particular time, in certain fights, like when he's with someone who's coming at him in the style that Porter has, he needs to be high guard. He needs to keep that stick out there. That Philly shell, with all due respect, against better talent, he doesn't execute it well enough for it to be an effective defense the way that James Toney or Floyd Mayweather would execute a Philly shell. But his high guard works good because when he was doing the high guard, he was able to get the knockdown and everything. But basically, though, Broner is way over his head trying to fight 147-pound fighters, and he's reluctant to let his hands go because once they touch him, he realizes he can't deal with that power of those people. He's 140 all day long. But go to 147 or fight 147 fighters, he's giving up too much strength, and he doesn't, to the point where he doesn't utilize his whole arsenal to stay effective against those people. Because, like I say, I would like to see him let his hands go more, but he's afraid of getting countered by them dudes. And and then like his defense, as far as the Philly shell, it's not effective like a good Philly shell would be.
But the other thing is with him is even when he uses that Philly shell, he doesn't move his head enough to make it as effective as it is because. Like James Toney and Floyd Mayweather, not only do they, apply the Philly shell, but they also move their head and they even get hit with any type of punch. They roll with the punches to minimize the effect of them. And the thing is that Broner gets caught flush even with the Philly shell that he has. So that type of thing will not be able to work for him. Keith said he really can't fight those 147 fighters that had that type of power that go against him because if he still has that thing where he's still moving back instead of moving off to the side, then he's gonna get caught many times by those guys at 147. So he needs to move down at 140, try to keep his weight, his regular weight at around 150 or so because when he came into the ring he came in at 157, but Porter still came in at 161. So even with that whole thing on trying to get, Sean Porter to get at 144 pounds, he was still able to rehydrate to 161. And the other thing was they just before the fight they removed that rehydration limit that was part of the contract. Did you have any take on that?
I don't really like rehydration clauses, and Heyman removed that prior to the fight coming up, so it wasn't a factor in what was going on, because I didn't even know anything about rehydration clauses until Margarito had one against Pacquiao. This catch weights and rehydration clauses and everything, it waters down the sport.
It does. It does water down the sport. It does. It kind of makes it to where they put too many demands on something for a set weight. Because if you're gonna say that this is a welterweight fight, then their weight limit is 147. As long as they aren't above 147 pounds at the weigh-in, then they should be fine. You shouldn't have a catch weight of 144 or 142 or nothing like that.
You know what I'm in big favor of, and I wasn't really before, but this catch weight stuff and all that is getting out of hand. Same day weigh-ins.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that wasn't something. You mean like after the fights and all that?
No, I mean the day of the fight. You weigh in that
The day of the
morning
fight, yeah.
or early afternoon, like how they do the weigh in the night beforehand. Do that weigh in the
Right.
day of the fight.
Yeah. A lot of that should be incorporated. You know that they should be able to do that the day of the fight instead of doing it the night before. I'm assuming that I have another person on the line here. 813-758. State your name. Where you calling from?
This is Terrell from Tampa.
All right, there, Terrell. What's going on with you?
Hey, not a whole lot.
Yeah, it's good, man. We just we got Jamal here on the line with me, and we were just going over the Broner-Porter fight and the different things that were like noticeable, before, during, and after the fight. Did you have any take on it?
Hey, Mr. Bell, before that happens, I'm going to hang up right now and go to my group and let some people know that you're on right now live and have some more people to call. Since you're able to have a party line, we can have a group discussion. I'm going to solicit two of the brothers from Boxing with the Brothers to call in, and then I'll be calling you back because I definitely got some take on Spence fight and the Ward fight. So,
all right, gotcha.
We'll get to that. I'll call you back in about 5-10 minutes.
All right, thanks. Okay. All right, yeah, Terrell, we were talking about the Broner-Porter fight. So did you catch that or catch any highlights of it?
Yeah, I caught the Broner fight and the Errol Spence fight, and thank you for introducing me to Errol Spence because he's the real deal. Right now, real deal, definitely. But Broner-Porter fight, first of all, I'm glad that Porter got the deserved decision. But, I mean, Porter had the world against him because the way Tony Weeks refereed that fight, and generally Tony Weeks does a good fight. But this one,
he does.
This fight looks like he was definitely paid off to give Porter the job, But Porter,
that point deduction didn't come until real late.
I mean, not to mention that it should have been at least two more point deductions. One for the illegal hit on the break when Broner hit him from behind or whatever, and another point for holding should have came out earlier too, But it was just ridiculous on what went on in that fight. What was allowed to go on. But you have to commend Porter for maintaining his composure throughout all that. He took all of that and more, and never did retaliate to cause a point to be taken against him.
Yeah. I mean, Sean Porter is, basically a guy and doesn't really, take off too much or try to get, rattled too easily. So, I mean, even with all that stuff that was going on against him, where there was a lot of holding going on with Adrian Broner, especially when he tried to pull down behind the head. That was done on multiple occasions, and Tony Weeks didn't really, take any points off from that. And then once he finally did it around the 10th or 11th round, I mean, that was, basically a mute point because Porter basically won the fight after that 10th round. You could only see about one or two rounds where Broner decisively won the round. Other than that, it was Porter because, like I said, I mean, Broner didn't do much as far as throwing punches, moving around laterally. All he did was move back instead of moving off to the side. While there were no real reach advantages for either fighter, I mean, Broner has the style, the offensive style where he could just box and should be able to move around. Instead of doing that, he just stood. So if he just stands there and he gets countered, then that's when he's really going to get affected.
Well, one of the main it's a lot of main points you can take away from this fight. Just because you drain a guy down to a catch weight doesn't mean you're gonna catch him slipping. They put him down. Made Porter go down to 144. He volumed back up to 160, and came in super strong.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, Broner belongs at 140 and under, period. He cannot fight above 140. He cannot.
Right.
Cannot.
Yeah, that's what Jamal was saying earlier. There's no way that you could put Broner at any fight above 140. Giannis proved it. Porter basically proved it. And I mean, to an extent, that fight he had with Paulie Malignaggi, that kind of proved it. Because it really wasn't a decisive victory against Paulie Malignaggi that Broner had. So you could say that even then, that was something where you could have seen that Broner couldn't be at 147.
Oh no, everybody knows he was given that belt. He was given that belt on his way to the top. But that's why it was taken from him violently. That's why what happened to him happened. And it's a shame. Broner, sir, he's actually he can be a great fighter. Leave all these antics alone, all this side stuff, this little junk. I understand you got to sell fights, but the stuff he does is just ridiculous. But like I said, he can be a great fighter. He got this.
But his overall demeanor and how he carries himself outside of the ring is like intolerable. And it's like I said, weeks ago, to fights at the MMA. You can't do that and expect to be a superstar fighter. You are a brand. You are a product. You're not selling your skills, but you're also selling a brand. And by doing that type of stuff outside of the ring, you make it to the ring. I mean, there's only a few things that you can do outside the ring. You can't necessarily be a Ricardo Mayorga and expect to last very long in this sport nowadays. There's a lot more business now, and if you want to market yourself to like make millions or quote unquote be about billions, then you can't just carry yourself out of caring the world.
No. With little to no respect for others,
Yeah, exactly. That's something that kind of cause some, later on. Even if he is at 140, I mean, right now, even though, Danny Garcia is moving up to 147, and maybe Lamont Peterson is following the same suit, there's still guys there at 140 that could still crack and could still, check him and probably still give him another loss.
Yes, definitely some guys at 140. Even things like guys like Prodnikov at 140, Matisse. Those are great names at 140. Terrence Crawford. Those are great. There's great fights at 140. Definitely.
Yep. That's definitely one of the deepest divisions out there. And like I said, like one of my articles. Well, actually, one of my articles that's on the CHNsports.com was a fantasy tournament at the 140-pound division, and Broner was included in, one of those 8 fighters that I had, and even though I included Danny Garcia and Lamont Peterson in it, still had Broner against, the likes of Victor Postol, Lucas Matisse, Provodnikov, Crawford, and Omar Figueroa Jr. And we just had something on CBS where we had Bartholomew go against Antonio DeMarco, and he was very impressive in a 10-round decision there earlier today. So Bartholomew is another guy to watch out for at the 140-pound division. Right.
Do you think they'll throw Garcia in with a big name at 147 right away?
Well, what we have scheduled now on August 1st, that'll be on the Premier Boxing Champions on ESPN. It'll be the first one at ESPN. Danny Garcia will be going up against Paulie Malignaggi on ESPN. So that'll be his first fight at 147, and then we'll see what happens with him in that fight, and then after that, if they're prepared to have him go against other top contenders in the 147-pound division. Right now, at this point, I don't think Garcia would really do that Amir Khan, well, I mean, he's the one that he defeated Amir Khan at 140, but you also have Brandon Rios out there, and these are like fights that I think are possible, in 147. So I'm not even including, Manny Pacquiao or Timothy Bradley here at the moment. So that's something that maybe could happen or if he's still around. Danny Garcia could fight Devin Alexander, if he's still around 47 pounds. So there's still like a few fights that Danny Garcia can have, but if he's going to, champions, seven like Kell Brooks, Keith Thurman, then I don't see it. I don't see him defeating him. I really didn't see him defeating Lamont Peterson. So if he can't beat Lamont Peterson, I don't see him defeating those guys that have the belts right now, 47.
Hey, James, your audio is kind of choppy, in and out.
Is in and out? All right. I'm trying to see what's going on with this microphone here because this is, one of the microphone things that I'm using. I might see if I can switch it over, but I'm not sure if I can or not. Is it a little bit better right now?
Yeah, I believe that is.
Okay. All right. So, we'll just run with this one here right now. And you said that you wanted to go into the fight that Spence had on the undercard of this Broner-Porter.
Errol Spence?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I thank you for introducing me to this guy. I don't know why I haven't heard of him. I know he's an Olympian, but we know all the Olympians from that class. None of those guys didn't medal, so. But what was a pretty funny stat about that, all of those Olympians from that class, they're all undefeated as pros. So that kind of tells you about that class. It's still a good class and everything. But you know about the amateurs. The amateurs does not always translate to a good pro and vice versa and so on. So it doesn't always tell you what you're going to have. But Errol Spence, like I say, he's the real deal right now. I like his size. I like his stance. I think his stance is a touch too wide. I don't know if you picked up on that at all.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's a little bit wide.
Yeah, because someone with some good lateral movement can easily step to the side and just rattle him and get him out of position. But that guy is the real deal. He is solid, and I'm sure he's ready for a title shot early next year. I mean, he called out Keith Thurman, and that would be a good fight to see.
Right, and that's something I'll be talking about a little bit later. But right now we got someone coming in at 909-997. State your name, where you're calling from. Area code 909. See if he had his 909. What's going on? Your name and where you're calling from?
Oh, how you doing? My name is Khalif. I'm calling from Pomona, California.
All right there, Brother Khalif. How you doing?
All right. Just wanted to call in and to give my opinion about the fights over the weekend.
Yeah, we went through Porter's decision win over Broner, and we were just about to touch on Errol Spence's win that was on the undercard against Philo Greco. But you could touch on that Broner-Porter and what you thought about that fight.
Yeah. I won't be long-winded. As far as the Porter and Broner fight, I thought both looked pretty good. I don't think Broner's stock dropped with the loss in the fight. He still fought pretty good. He just got outworked by Porter. I think when I was following along on both training camps leading up to the fight, the game plan that King Porter had was excellent as far as, focusing on stamina and being able to keep the punch output high even when he was fatigued. And Porter came in excellent condition. And as I've been hearing, through the other boxing channels, Broner was having some trouble making weight, instead of focusing on, technique and camp and all those things pretty much showed in the fight, and one of the biggest reasons why I feel Broner lost, which has been his issue for the last 3-4 fights, is he doesn't let his hands go enough, so that's his big issue. I don't know if that's a coaching thing or just something inside of Broner's head. I don't know what that is. But when Broner lets his hand go, Broner is spectacular. But I think he'll be okay. There's a big thing going on in boxing that I don't really agree with. As soon as you lose or something like that, they start calling you a bum. I don't know what year that bullshit started, but they need to stop that. Amir Khan is in discussions with fighting Floyd, even though I don't think he's going to get the Floyd fight. He has 3 losses, you know what I mean? So, I think people should really stop that. I think Broner will be okay. I think Broner needs to stay at 140. I'm here he's having some issues with Al Heyman, and that was the reason why he got thrown in that type of fight because, he's really rubbing Al Heyman the wrong way. He's getting advances. So, I try to focus on the behind-the-scenes things going on in boxing. The Errol Spence fight, Errol looked pretty good. He did what he was supposed to do. A lot of people are trying to throw him in with Thurman or Porter. That'd be, a great fight for boxing, but it also answers a lot of questions because, Errol Spence hasn't even fought a B-level fighter, Is it too much? It's obvious, Floyd dumped Porter in the trash can, and he's got a new little brother. His name's Errol Spence Jr., you know what I mean? So, we'll see how Errol does in his fight in September because it looks like Floyd's going to definitely have him on the undercard of Mayweather Promotions, So we'll see if Porter takes that fight. I don't think Thurman's going to take the fight because he has a fight in July, so I think it'll be too short. I think they're going to force Thurman to fight Khan in the fall, and I think Errol and Porter are going to fight. But it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see the third and fourth quarter of 2015 to see how the year ends. Boxing is going to survive, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no doubt. So I'll be touching on that a little bit. But right now, we got another person on the line, 317-263. State your name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from the great state of Indiana in Indianapolis.
Oh, Indianapolis. That's where, my uncle is, and got a few cousins over there in Indianapolis there, man.
Yeah, and it's also the birthplace of former heavyweight champion Layman Brewster.
Oh, man, yeah.
One of the last ones. Yeah, he boxed here at Sarge's gym, and he was one of the last ones to check Klitschko's chin.
Yep, that's true.
Knocked him out.
Yep, that's right.
That's why I was hoping that. Go ahead.
No, I was saying what your name was?
This is Jamal.
All right, so we got Jamal back on here. But yeah, man, Lamar.
Yeah, I went out there
Bruce
and solicited. I solicited a few people to call in. Hopefully, a few more people will be calling in now. We can have a round table.
Yeah, exactly. And we pretty much had a consensus on Adrian Broner about him having to be at 140 and staying at 140. And a couple of us kind of say that Spence is ready and should, try to go against the title holders there at 147 with Keith Thurman there available and Kell Brook.
As far as Errol Spence, I'm big on amateur boxing. I follow amateur boxing with a passion. And I think that Errol Spence, as a professional, he's better off having more success as a professional because he never medaled in none of the Olympics that he had went to. But I do honestly believe if they try to move him up too fast, he will get another thing that we say a lot now, exposed. I don't know if necessarily that's the case. I just don't think he's ready for the elite at 147 at this particular time. And the levels that he need to go through to assure me that he's ready, he hasn't yet. But he's up and coming, though. I think that him and Thurman would be a good fight, particularly at this time, because Thurman, the one time, is just not one time anymore as he moves up in competition. So
exactly.
I would like to see him and Spence square off, though. But I'm not ready to give Spence too much accolades like so many people are until he does some things, because I'm not really impressed with him. I always have in the back of my mind of how in the amateurs he was pretty successful, but he wasn't medal material. It was either 2 or 3 Olympics that he went to.
Right.
He did advance higher than any other American in the 2012 games, though. But nevertheless, he didn't make it to the medal round.
Right. Exactly. All right, I'm about to put on another caller here, 336-327. So, yeah, what's going on with you?
Hey, Mr. Greg, what's going on? Okay,
Yeah,
I heard I heard what was just said. And so you got to, okay, when you look at, Spence went further than any other American fighter did in the Olympics. But see, what hinders our American fighters, if you look at our amateur boxing, they have a pro style. So it doesn't, it don't fare well in international type play. All right, so you won't see these guys go deep. I think Ward was the last one to really medal in the last couple of, few Olympics. But the deal with Spence, these guys know Spence. These guys know, because you know why? Spence beat him up sparring all the time. That's why they try to discredit Spence. They try to make it look like, oh, I dare Floyd to bring up Spence against me, right? Because they don't want this guy that nobody really knows. He's just really getting introduced to the novice people of boxing. All right, the real fans know who he is. He's highly respected amongst all the pro so-called established fighters, right? Because they know him, because they spar with him. They know what Spence brings to the table. That's why they want to buy time before they fight Spence. So, yeah, they want to put Spence off for another year or so, if possible, but it's not going to happen. Just like Broner. If you look at the Broner and you look at the Thurman fight, right, and we all had our own views of what was going to happen when we look at the styles of each fighter, right? But from their sparring alone told everything. They knew each other. It was the ugliest fight that I saw in I don't know how long. It looked worse than club fights that I watch here in Greensboro, right? Okay, because they know each other sparring. They knew what to expect. Adrian knew that Porter was a bull. He knew Porter was strong, and Porter basically had no respect of Adrian because he just kept coming forward because it was like he didn't fear that Adrian could hurt him. Okay, but as both of them talked on their sparring sessions, Kenny Porter was the one that seemed like he was telling the truth, and Adrian was being Adrian. So my thing with Spence, they know Spence is the real deal. That's why they want to buy as much time with him as they can. In my opinion, and looking at all other if you listen to Sam Watson, you listen to all of the real guys that's there watching these live sparring sessions, the boy, he's ready. And I think he's ready too.
You know who I think I was sitting here thinking while you were talking, who I would like to see Earl Spence fight right now? Who? I would like to see him square off with Terrence Crawford right now.
Terrence Crawford, he's a hell of a fighter, bro. He's a hell of a fighter. But and see, okay, and this is my thing with one time, right? Okay. When I watch certain fighters, I look for certain things. If I see that your matchmaker match you the same way with the same type fighters every time, it shows me that you pretty much one-dimensional. Your matchmaker knows your strengths. He knows your weaknesses. Okay? All right. We haven't seen one time fight Noah Lucic. Fighter that one time has faced is a guy that stays right in front of him. But like you said, brother, hey, one time ain't got nobody in one time in a minute because their competition is getting tougher, right? Well, Earl can be elusive too. Earl can box. Earl got some pop. Earl's like a double-edged sword. He got the power where he can hurt you, If he want to stand and bang with you, he can. If he want to box, he can box. And then again, he's southpaw, right? So these are all different variables that we ain't seen Thurman face. Thurman ain't faced nobody like that.
Yeah, that's a great point. I can see that southpaw and the elusiveness in the skills, and he's also a little pop, where he's probably be able to counter Thurman. He might give Thurman some problems.
Bro, I agree.
We had just real quick, y'all. We had 267-456 on the line, but if you're still on, still on 267, see if you could lower down the sound on your radio or TV or whatever it is, and then I'll see if I can put you back on in a minute. All right, y'all go back to talking about Spence.
Like you said, now with Sean Porter, right? Sean Porter fought Brooks. I mean, I was disappointed in Porter and Broner's performance last night. I mean, because, man, it showed no skill from either fighter. You know, Adrian would use his feet work and get out of trouble, but it was like he was scared to let his hands go. But one thing with Porter, when you see Porter, he has fought a Brook. Brook is a very diverse fighter. He can box. He's elusive. He's the type of fighter that Keith Thurman had the shot where he could have faced him, correct? He didn't want to face him, all right? Because you know why? His matchmaker knows he will get exposed as soon as he fight a guy that fights a different, it fights different instead of standing in front of him.
Right.
All Thurman is about is coming forward banging. To me, that's all he can do. The Italian brother that was moving a little bit, he was just moving. And Thurman, he was damn near like a fish out of water. All right?
Right.
But Thurman knows, man. They know Earl. They ain't new to this kid. They know what this kid can do. Just like Earl. Mm-hmm. All this time, Earl never confessed to, he took the high side when they always asked him about sparring with Broner. But just lately, he said what? He knocked Broner out. All right? Like he said, he know he's stronger than Broner. He know he's more physical than Broner. Like he said, he'll fight Porter or Thurman. They know this kid, man. This kid is going to show these guys something that they haven't seen. You know, where the world haven't seen him get exposed like I think this kid can expose him. But Terrence Crawford, he's a whole other animal because he's another fighter. He's a double, triple-edged sword, too. He can fight multiple facets. He can fight conventional. He can fight southpaw. He can box. He can stand in there. He got pop. That's the type of animal that you don't want to face. You don't want to face that type of guy. You know, I mean, everybody, you know, you got a boxer and a puncher. A boxer usually beat a puncher 9 out of 10 times if he fights smart. And another thing that Broner's deficiency is he don't listen to nobody. Broner might as well not have a trainer. Broner comes in and just do whatever the hell he wants to do.
I got a weird that might be perceived as a little weird, but think about this and give me your take. The aggression and the determination as well as the conditioning and preparation that Ann Wolf puts in Kirkland, you see he's two totally different animals when she's not in his corner. I believe if Ann Wolf trained Broner for a fight and he did everything that she said to get him prepared, he'd be well conditioned, and she knows how to motivate a person in the corner if they listen to him. I believe she can extract some of the things that Broner possessed that he don't even really know he got, and he'll be a much better fighter because you see the difference in Kirkland without her in his corner and with him. And then as far as Porter, I think Porter got a lot more potential that he can tap upon, but he won't do it as long as his father is training him. I believe they tapped out on the extent of what he's going to do.
Hold on, folks. Hold on, folks. We got two more people on the line. We got 323-218, and we got 267-456. 323, state your name and where you're calling from.
Yo, what up? This is Marcus from the group, man, the admin and Brothers Talk Boxing. I'm calling from Cali.
All right, there we go. What's going on there, Brother
Marcus?
Is
this my administrator, Marcus?
Say it again. Excuse me.
Is this my administrator, Marcus?
Yeah, this is your administrator. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's happening, man? Yeah, we on here chopping it up, man. I was just speaking on what do you think about if Broner was to actually be trained by Ann Wolf?
I think that'd be a great idea, man. I think Broner, man, his trainer, the trainer he got now, I think his trainer is a good trainer. It's just that Broner is too hot-headed, man. He needs somebody in his corner that's going to actually challenge him to do more than what he feel like he needs to be doing. I think Ann Wolf would be perfect for that job, man, because right now I see Broner's career going downhill from here on out.
Right. It's slipping away, especially if you try to stay at welterweight. But then also Porter, I feel like Porter got a lot more potential, but he'll never tap on it as long as his father is training him. I think a good trainer for Porter right now would be Virgil Hunter.
Yeah, I think so too. Porter's dad is gonna just be his downfall because for one, he wants to be the star. He does way too much talking. And what he did, I don't know if y'all seen what he did to Broner at the end of the fight when Broner went to Porter and shook his hand. He tried to take his dad's hand, and his dad pushed him and said, "Get the fuck out of here. Go back to your corner. I ain't shaking your hand at all." And Porter was like, "Man, why you do that?" He like, "You know why I ain't shaking that motherfucking nigga hand? I feel like that was you the trainer, dude. You know what I'm saying?" That's what's gonna hurt Porter.
Yeah, but I mean, he's trying to be
right there.
He's trying to be like Angel Garcia or like Guerrero's dad, and I don't know if that's gonna really go too far with him. But real quick,
and as a black man, he don't have that leeway to get away with that.
No, he sure don't. 267-456. What's up?
How you doing, man? This is Jamil Parker, Philly.
Yeah, what's going on, Jamil?
How y'all doing, man? Me personally, I don't think Porter's that good, man. All he beat Broner on was just pure activity, and Broner doesn't throw enough punches. But I didn't see him land more than 5 clean shots all night. Like, he just puts his head in your chest and just wails.
In your face. I'm your cousin. I'm a Senate.
Swing, you know?
I go by Coles, but my daddy owes El Senate.
Hey, what y'all think about Broner conditioning, though?
Okay,
Broner conditioning leaves a lot to be desired. He seems to fade in every fight except for the one with Emmanuel Taylor, where it seemed like he got stronger towards the end.
He was hella gassed early. And I thought, did y'all see the media workout, the media day training when Broner, he invaded Porter's training and he got in the ring and was talking all that shit? I thought he was drunk. I'm like, damn, he seemed drunk. I'm like, maybe just how he acts. But now I've seen him fight, maybe he was drunk because he was hella gassed.
He might have been, but that's his demeanor. I'm telling you, he does that type of stuff, you know, outside of the ring, whether it's supposed to be for show or not. Because, like I said, I saw him mess around with too many people over at Vegas after that Mayweather Pacquiao fight, and that nearly cost him right then. So that's part of the reason why Al Heyman matched him up with Sean Porter was because he was just doing too much stuff outside of the ring.
Hey,
and Al Heyman just basically checked him on it.
Hey, JB, look, you.
Yeah.
I don't know though if that's gonna humble that dude. So
hey, hold on. Hey, Greg, you were saying something?
Okay. AB's biggest problem is it ain't his trainer. It ain't his conditioning. He's not a damn professional. He's not a professional. He's a damn clown. Hey, JB, every time you see him in Vegas, he's parading around trying to party and do all this other shit. A real fighter would have his ass in his hotel room. I mean, you got a damn fight. Why are you walking around like a clown, wanting to be loud and sing? Everybody know who you are. I don't give a damn if Ann Wolf trained him or who trains him. Nobody can reach this guy because he's his own worst enemy. It ain't the trainer, it's him.
Yep.
It's him.
Because if you look at it like y'all said, that day where they had the media day when Porter was training and Adrian Broner just went into the ring and just started talking stuff and kept talking and kept talking. Floyd tried to hold him back, and he still wasn't listening.
Right.
And
Because
Floyd,
he don't listen to Floyd.
Yeah, he don't listen.
Look at it. He don't listen to nobody. But if you look at it, right? Okay. If you look at Porter and them, they conducted themselves like gentlemen. If you look all the way through the process of the media, thing was going great until Adrian want to be an asshole towards the end. Everything was fine. It was mutual respect. Then towards the end, he wants to be Mr. Big Mouth, and you see what happens. I mean, Adrian is his own. He's his worst enemy.
Yeah, I agree with you.
He's his worst enemy, man.
I agree.
I want to get y'all. I want to get y'all brothers an honest opinion on this question about Adrian Broner. I want to know how good do y'all think Adrian Broner is? Because really, he has not every fighter that he faced that was somewhat elite or elite, he lost to. And we can take it back to Ponce de Leon. He lost that fight. He got a give decision with Ponce de Leon. So. And then he got you look at that fight, man. He really lost that fight, and then he got a give decision with Paulie. That could have went either way.
Oh, we were talking about that.
Lost to Madonna. We see he lost to Madonna, and then he lost to Porter. So how good is he? Just hype, or you know what I'm saying? How good is he though?
I think he's not good enough to fight 147 top level fighters.
Right.
But I think he's damn good at 140 and has so much potential that it makes him lazy because things come to him so easy. So that when he does step up in weight and in competition, that nonchalant way he does of preparing for a fight, it shows up on fight night. Whereas he's used to getting away with that half-hearted approach toward fighting the smaller guys. But I believe his problem is just that he's not 147 at this time, on top of all the other things as far as his attitude and professionalism and whatnot.
Right. I go along
for him to go from 135 to 135 to 147. Who bright idea was that? Who was that? Schaefer? Al Heyman? Like, who decided to just jump 2 weight classes?
The red one is in the box outside.
He was 157 He was 157 last night.
Then he just jumps to 147. Like, I don't understand.
He was 157 last night, though.
Yeah, he rehydrated 157, and Porter rehydrated 161. But real quick, all the gentlemen on this conference call now, how many of you or who got the number from the postings I just put on Facebook?
Yeah, that's where I got it from, and I call right in. But I wanted to make a comment real quick.
Should be 3. Hold on. Okay. It should be about 3 from the group, but I'm going to see what's going on with 216-854. You're on on live. Who is it?
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Eddie Big Man. How y'all doing?
What's up, bro?
Hey, what's happening? Hey, I post all the time on there. But anyway, to make a long story short, this is what I think. I think Broner, he got a lot of promise and everything, but like I said, he got to be a little bit more sharper. You know what I mean? He got to take it a little bit more serious. You know what I'm saying? And because like I said, he dropped Porter in the last round and everything like that. But I think if he had did the same work he did in the 12th round and earlier round, he would have won the decision. But he got to accept the blame for that.
Hold on, we're like not hear you there. But we got that last part on it. But the question that was raised about Broner is, how would he do at the 140-pound division? And for me, I think he was pretty good, but I still see a couple of guys in the 140-pound division that would beat him. Now, Garcia's moving up to 147, and I'm seeing that Lamont Peterson will move up to 147. But even with that, I still see a guy like Lucas Matisse checking him, and even if it was possible, Terrence Crawford would beat him too.
Correct.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
See, that's why I disagree. A lot of people are just gonna be negative and just try to throw Broner to the wolves. And let me explain something to you guys about size and natural size in boxing. So the perfect example I'm going to use is Juan Manuel Marquez versus Floyd Mayweather when they had the catchweight at 144. Juan Manuel Marquez made the weight, but he was really a lightweight, you know what I mean? So that wasn't his real strength, you know what I mean? Broner is a lot smaller than Porter. So when Al Heyman called in and knocked down no hydration limit, which goes to tell you how Al Haymon feels about Broner right now, that benefited Porter. So that's why Broner was so tired, because he was fighting a football player. That's all Porter does. But he couldn't do that against Brook. You want to know why? Because Brook was a natural welterweight. So I'm trying to explain you the difference. It's not on the scale. It's the actual, size of the man. Broner is naturally smaller than Porter. It's not the size on the scale. He couldn't do that to Brook. And that's why Brook
frame can accommodate the size for him to get bigger and remain effective.
Yeah. So it's not about, he weighed 157. He weighed no, that doesn't mean anything, because I can go drink a big cup of water right now and I could be 3-4 pounds heavier right now. The natural size of Porter is extremely bigger than Broner. That's why Broner needs to stay at 140. When Porter fought Brook, Porter was the weaker man than Brook, and Brook tapped his tail. And guess what? Spencer do the same thing because of the natural size of the man.
147 fight I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, exactly.
That dude is huge.
Porter basically goes in there as a middleweight. He's like, his walking weight is like around that 160. So once he reached
Broner fought a middleweight last night.
I disagree with that, because Porter was 160, Broner was 157, and Pacquiao was the smallest fighter Floyd fought since 2009. Everybody Floyd fought been
Y'all
bigger.
not listening to my point. Y'all not listening to my point.
I understand what you're saying, brother.
Okay.
But also,
how much time we got left, but I want to make sure we definitely get into the coming out party, or the re-coming out party of Son of God. Because I thoroughly was impressed with Ward looked good. His performance last night after a 19-month layoff. And one thing I gathered out of that is we won't be seeing a Triple G Andre Ward fight. Hell no.
Ward did it all. And now that he's back in action,
out of that European.
I think that Triple G is going to definitely avoid him. And also when it comes to having that fight on BET, I think it was a great thing on behalf of Rock Nation to introduce Porter to the black community, because everybody says he's not a draw or anything. And I think that once black people start supporting that man, I believe he'll have a draw to the point where that won't be an excuse for people to avoid him and whatnot.
Right.
And then as a person in the black community, I'm glad that they put it together on BET, and hopefully that'll be the beginning of some more fights on BET.
Right.
You don't necessarily have to be.
What was the attendance on it?
Routine sports channels.
Between 7 to 8,000.
Al Haymon has changed the game.
Okay.
I haven't seen this much good boxing with elite fighters on television since I used to watch boxing on TV in the 70s with Wide World of Sports.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. That's
All
true.
Right,
that's really
we got
true.
about 6 minutes. We got about 6 minutes left until we go into overtime, and after we go into overtime, nobody could call in. So if you want to get in at 347-237-5539. All right, you could. I guess we could transition over to that of Andre SOG Ward over Paul Smith, and that was basically all that was target practice for Andre Ward. So he was able to, score at will against Paul Smith. And it was only $99 before that not going to happen. It was at the catcher was at 132. Paul Smith definitely didn't make that, and he wasn't in shape at all for this, but he still didn't have a chance whether he made weight or not. After this, they're saying that Ward will probably go back down to super middleweight and extend his career there. But it was like y'all said, there's no way that Triple G will be able to face Andre Ward at super middleweight and have a chance.
Right, and it's a shame because Andre Ward is on a mission, and there's always people talking about he should move up, and suddenly he's been perceived as a bad guy, so to speak, with the way he's being treated from the novices and the haters who usually I say have a racial bias, and that's the only reason why you can complain about Andre Ward. They're mad at him because he wants to fight the white hype, but he's in a mission.
What's funny.
He wants to get rid of all this so-called European dominance. He want to whoop Triple G, then he's going to go up to 175, expose and beat down Kovalev. That's what he wants to do. And he deserves the right to call out Triple G. And Triple G set himself up for that when him and his camp said he'll fight anybody from 154 to 168.
Yeah, I don't like
Lawler
Abel Sanchez.
Triple G don't even want to fight Lawler. Lawler been calling him out. Bradley just called him out. Right, he said he's fighting him on 6.
Andre called him out too.
A lot of them folks
But
called him out.
let me ask y'all this. On a serious tip, brothers, when it comes to resumes, the same type of resume that Deontay Wilder used to get raked over the coals for is identical to
come on, man. You know the reason behind
Triple G is doing right now.
Don't be asking no rhetorical questions now. You already know the answer.
150 pounds.
We already
Yep.
You already know.
Come on now.
All right, hey folks, we got 813-984. Just introduce yourself to the group there. 813-984.
This Claussell, man. Host CMT Firestorm, man. I'm here.
All right. Yeah. We just going over, Triple G's resume and how and how we just like say, come on, man, you can't. He can't be calling out like Cotto and Canelo and Andre Ward when you ain't even beat you had Lemieux that just fought his that middleweight title fight in Montreal, and that was the best fight that they had this weekend was at Lemieux versus Ndam and Jikum. Knocked down in Jikum 4 times during the fight and showed like a lot of good skills in there, and I'm saying, hey, if Oscar De La Hoya doesn't want to put Canelo against Triple G next year, then hey, why not put Triple G against Lemieux right now? I mean, you ain't got nothing to do.
Judging by the pattern of which Triple G's opponents have been, he's going to find some journeyman tomato can or has been to continue on this path. Because no, I'm not trying to be funny because he's getting a pass for this. And I mean, there was even actual talk of him being fighter of the year and all types of stuff.
Oh my God! What?
But when you ask people who take that position, especially in a lot of the groups on Facebook, when you ask, well, whoever he fought, then that's when the racial attacks and all kind of things happen. Because a lot of times when you ask people those questions, they don't like the answer. But he hadn't fought nobody. At least Wilder, everybody's saying he was hyping, just was a knockout artist. He won the title by a decision over Styburn, and he just is what he is. And I believe that Wilder will not get a fight with Klitschko because Klitschko for the last 10 years has been fighting these Peter McNeely-type dudes who've been able to keep out on the end of his jab because his chin was getting checked too much, so they got with Emmanuel Stewart, and Emmanuel Stewart helped him utilize his reach and his height, which wouldn't be an advantage for him against somebody like Wilder. And I believe Wilder knocked him out.
Hey, all right, real quick, we got 609-349 on the line. State your name, where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Brian McCall. I'm calling from Jersey right now. Well, I'm in Philly right now.
What's up, Brian?
All right, Brian.
What's good, brothers? What's good?
Oh, man.
I'm not at work right now. I'm pushing that big-ass limo, but I hear y'all. I disagree.
Yeah.
Right now, Klitschko will fight Wilder. Right now, looking at Wilder's last performance, Klitschko will burn him up right now. Well, that would be Klitschko's best bet. Klitschko's getting old, man.
Klitschko last performance, he held like a motherfucker.
Yeah, but he was taking shots, man. He was taking shots too, though.
Right, but see, and he don't be able to take that heat from Wilder, and Wilder will give him that heat. He got a longer reach. He's tall as him, and all the advantages that Klitschko been utilizing since he had started to box under the tutelage he had learned how to box under Stewart. I think that all that is void against Wilder. I believe Wilder would knock him straight out.
No, I'm gonna tell you
why Wilder ain't calling him Tyson Fury? I mean, Tyson Fury would be giving him a better fight than Klitschko.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Wilder doesn't know how to control his distance. Until Wilder learns how to control his distance, I mean, when you watch Wilder, man, Wilder smothers his punches. Man, look at his last fight. I mean, Wilder. The moment when Mark Breland can give Wilder the fight from a distance, he will do better.
To what? Maybe
to what?
Gospel or old school.
Yeah, I'm there.
I'm getting some feedback. All right, yeah, continue there, Greg.
Like I say, Wilder's biggest problem is, man, he don't know how to control his distance, man. If Wilder ever learn how to fight from his and utilize his reach, he will be a dangerous opponent. Right now, Klitschko will expose him right now because, man, he comes in so close where his punches have no effect. One thing that Emmanuel Stewart did with them Klitschko boys, because if you remember when they fought the Chris Bird and they fought the guys, Chris Bird exposed one of them, and then Layman Bruce exposed the other. One thing.
Don't get rid of purity.
Emmanuel Stewart taught them boys to fight from a distance, and they so long if they fight from a distance, you can't touch them. As soon as you come in, what they do? They got that European style where they stick their arms out. Right.
I've never seen anybody try to come in on Klitschko. I've seen all his opponents as of lately sit outside, cooperate, so to speak, and accept from the long jab.
Hey, listen, it ain't that they cooperating. They can't do anything. That he's so long. Okay, that's like
because they can't get in that reach. They're all too little.
Right,
and I think that size will be a factor if he fought Wilder. I believe that all someone has to do is check Klitschko's chin. It's a known, documented fact. It's fragile. Even journeyman Ross Peretti knocked him out.
I go along with that. And Wilder does have a good jab. But what Wilder has a lot of flaws, brothers. Wilder is a good, I like Wilder. You know what I'm saying? But Wilder, he better not fight Klitschko to probably 2016.
No, Klitschko will be an old man, and his excuse will be, I'm too old and I'm getting ready to retire. That needs to happen now. You don't become a heavyweight champion and then need tune-up fights. Once you become a heavyweight champion and you get a piece of that crown, your mission from that point should be to unify. There's no need for him to get tune-up fights. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. To say that a champion needs tune-up fights is an oxymoron.
Well, I mean, if you look at what did he just do? I mean, he won the title and then he fought somebody that was vaguely unknown, right? Okay, so what was that? I mean, so
that was the person that was getting the payday after they get the belt. I always allow that luxury to fighters. Once you get that title, you don't have to jump right back into the fire. You might want to defend your title in from an A-side perspective and get some money.
If they fight in 2015, Klitschko will beat him right now. Wilder makes too many mistakes, bro. He's not ready for Klitschko right now.
I
think what he has that will overcome those mistakes is the power and the distance. And I believe that Fury can touch Klitschko. And all he had to do is touch Klitschko because Klitschko is fragile.
Hold on, y'all.
Listen, bro.
Hold on. Which fight would you rather see right now? Wilder against Klitschko or Wilder against Fury or Povetkin? Because Povetkin's the number one contender for the WBC
Fury is a clown to me. I want to see Wilder fight Klitschko. And because Klitschko got a belt, it helped unify the heavyweight division.
JB, listen to me. The brother just made a great point. If Wilder can learn to fight from his distance, yeah, he would be a good fight against Klitschko. But he don't use his distance, man. Wilder comes in and
But we don't know what he would do in camp to prepare for a fight with Klitschko because he hasn't fought anybody that's equal to him in height and reach. And I'm sure that he would be prepared to do that. He's not going to fight Klitschko the same way he just fought that bum he fought.
I would hope.
So you're saying the main point with Wilder is he basically trains or fights to the level of his opponent. So the way that he trains and fights against a guy like when he won the WBC championship is different than when he trained for his last fight because he knew.
Because when he fought Tyburn for the title, everybody was talking about he can't win a decision and all that. And he won a decision, won the heavyweight title from a credible opponent who he took the distance.
What do y'all think about this Danny Garcia Paulie Malignaggi fight? Is that a cherry pick or what?
Bogus.
Man, come on.
Paulie Malignaggi and Danny Garcia August 1st. Is that a cherry pick or?
I think that's a cherry pick. I can't say that that's a fight that I would look forward to because of the actual fact. Paulie Malignaggi to me is He's a damn good announcer, commentator, and he gives us strong opinions on fighting from an honest perspective and from a perspective of some know-how being a former fighter. But for him to be in contention for anything at this particular time, I thought he had already retired.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I'll just put it this way, man. You can't necessarily find any other guy at welterweight to try to get somebody that's moving up to start off with, other than Malignaggi, because he's not one that's known for knockout power. He doesn't, give enough activity to give you fits as far as like hit you. I mean, he can move around a lot, but he doesn't like throw enough to give, someone like a Danny Garcia too much damage. So it's not like he's in there against Batista again or in there against Lamont Peterson. So someone like him or even Devin Alexander, would give him much trouble. But yeah,
Devin Alexander, I'm not gonna call him a bum, but when the stage gets big, he freezes. Same way he looked against Khan was tantamount to the same way he did before he quit against Bradley. Devin Alexander is like.
Yo, the thing get me is how Algeria gave Khan a run for his money, and old boy didn't. Devin didn't. That's beyond me. But back to the Danny Paulie fight. Now Danny my homeboy. I fucks with Danny, but Danny should have went back and rematch Peterson, because that shit still gonna be questionable. Everybody still gonna think, well, Peterson got robbed. Peterson did it. Now Peterson, he did hit Danny with some shit. He fucked Danny up. I ain't gonna lie here. Like I said, he's my boy. I can't stand biased. But he didn't do shit in the early rounds to win that fight.
Shit.
I do gotta admit that.
Get Herrera a rematch. If that's the case, Herrera whooped his ass.
Hey.
Now Herrera did beat Garcia, as far as I'm concerned.
You got two questionable bouts right there. You got two
I'm
questionable
not a
bouts
big
right there.
Danny Garcia fan because, like I say, I follow amateurs with a passion. And in the Nationals against Crawford, he got a 20-21 decision over him. And actually, in my estimation, Crawford won that fight.
I'm not a Garcia fan either.
But because one thing about Crawford, I didn't think he was ever going to be in the pros, because at the time when he was amateur, there was always talk in gyms and in circles that he had one hand in one foot in the street, one foot in the gym, and the street was calling him, and he seemed like he was about ready to answer. But I always knew that he was a great fighter, because I don't know how many times he beat Mikey Garcia as an amateur. But once he did get his opportunity to get some exposure, he capitalized on it. Now he's getting some money, and he's dedicated to the sport. And people always compare him to a young Thomas Hearns. I don't. I just say that the way they can reach that conclusion is because of the size. But
Crawford,
when it comes to comparing Crawford to somebody historically, I don't know who I would compare him with. I would just respect the fact that he's carving out his own niche.
He got a Thomas Hearns jab, though. That's the one thing.
All right, y'all. Hey, real quick, I had something scheduled for today. I had heavyweight prospect Travis Walker that was scheduled to call in, but he couldn't really make it. So I'm gonna see if I can schedule him in for next week to be on next week. So, let me see here. Now next. Oh, who's that? But real quick, going back on Garcia, right? If there's like a fight that he could have at 147, I got a fight that would work at 147. Let's have a rematch with Amir Khan, since Amir Khan wants to speak about trying to fight Floyd Mayweather. Why don't he try to avenge that knockout loss to Danny Garcia? If he could do that, then
Garcia beat him twice, though. That ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? He beat him twice.
Garcia chin checked him.
Yeah, he beat him twice. The first time.
He only beat him once. You talking about amateur or something?
No, you know what? That was the other dude. Fucking Eric Morales. My bad.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was Eric Morales. Yeah.
People keep talking about how Khan don't have a chin. I don't know anybody who takes shots flush on the chin might get knocked out. Khan just don't have no defense, and he gives himself too much credit for his boxing style, and he gets too free, opening himself up, and he get hit. He don't have no good defense. It's not a shin. It's his lack of defense.
I mean, he ain't got no chin though, dog.
Chris Algieri was man.
And he really don't have no punching. Like, I mean, he got good hand speed, but it's like hitting with pillows or something, man.
Kurt Franklin's face.
We seen when Pacquiao faced Mayweather, speed is not all you gotta have.
Or the enlightened face.
Yeah. So I mean,
they talk on satellite radio. They talk on satellite radio.
Yeah. The thing is,
I said they talk on satellite radio.
Let me see if I could do this real quick. Hold on.
They do.
Hold on, real quick. So what I was gonna say about Amir Khan is he was basically a pillow fisted, because a lot of times he was hitting Chris Algieri in that fight. There was like nothing that really stunned Algieri. Made him.
I haven't seen you.
Made him do that.
I just moved back here.
How you doing? Who's that on the line?
I've been staying down in Indianapolis. And yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a small there. But yeah, like I was saying about Amir Khan is that he was like hitting Chris Algieri and scoring punches, but there was nothing that he showed that gave Algieri much trouble. Nothing that really stunned him or anything at all. You know what I mean?
Algieri gave him trouble, if anything. I didn't see.
Yeah.
I had to respect that. Even though Algieri didn't have no power on it, he had to respect his punches, because them punches were tagging the shit out of him.
Hey, let's say.
Yeah.
What do y'all think Mayweather's next opponent gonna be? Because he keeps throwing out Andre Berto and Kareem Mayfield, which I think is a joke, but he said it's serious. And I don't think he wanna.
He said that's what he's gonna do. He said that those are gonna be the two guys. Kareem Mayfield and Berto.
He throws out people like that, like when he was talking about he was going to fight Jermaine Taylor. He does that. He just gave you. But I think Floyd has deserved the right, earned the right to fight whoever he chooses. And if he want to fight Berto or Kareem, so be it. He wants a light fight. He's had two big wars with Madonna. He conquered what people always saying would be his legacy fight against Pacquiao, which turned out actually to be one of his more easier fights. I think he deserved the right. If he want to fight Algieri or Rios or somebody, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, I don't need that.
That's true.
He had to tell end of his career. He done been through all the wars, so he can.
I don't think he's gonna fight Keith Thurman. I don't think he's gonna fight Keith Thurman, Kell Brook, or Spence, because Spence.
None of them worthy as Roy Spence. Honestly.
Well, Spence roughed him up in training camp. They said Spence blacked his eye and he sent Spence home. And then Floyd admitted, that boy gave me some work. So I don't think Floyd want to go that route. He's more so trying to take him under his wing.
I believe after a 19-year legendary career and a record amount of Hall of Famers and future Hall of Famers and champions on his resume, Floyd can fight anybody. As long as he don't go calling out any lightweights or anything, I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Y'all think what about
if I could really match him up against somebody right now, I would like to see him, and people may not like this, but I would like to see him fight either your boy, give him a payday. I think Berto deserves a payday.
Who?
Boy's been trying to pay that dude for years now. He was ready to give him that payday, but Berto lost against Ortiz. Then he was willing to give Berto that payday, and he lost to Guerrero. And I just think that Floyd needs to let a brother get a payday.
Yeah, give it to a brother. I agree. Give that to a brother.
Yeah, because all it is a Mayweather sweepstakes, and he's in the position that whoever he feels like blessing with a Mayweather payday, he has the right to do so. And I'm just pro-black. Many people call me racist because I'm pro-black. I subscribe to the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, but I ain't for it. I think that he should keep the money in the black community and fight someone like Berto or Peterson or a number of other different black welterweights that people say Floyd don't fight black welterweights. But he's been brilliantly marketing himself and milking the Mexican crowd and melting the haters that doubles basically sometimes pay-per-view numbers. Like now with Broner getting beat last night, he'll still be a draw because people gonna pay to hope that they can see him get laid out.
Yeah, we're seeing there what was going on with that one. I mean, you got Berto out there. He's Haitian, and he was residing in Florida, and that was the whole thing with Berto was because Berto could have fought Shane Mosley years ago, but the thing that happened with the earthquake that happened in Haiti, that kind of nixed that fight. So
right.
he hasn't really had that big type of fight or that high profile fight, and once he had his little slugfest with Victor Ortiz and lost that, and then he lost the fight against Ghost Guerrero, that nixed him from fighting Floyd Mayweather earlier than now. So I as well just say, hey, you could get your fight with Floyd Mayweather. I mean, you've had it on the table for years, so why not have it now?
I just want to see the little fella get his payday. I was hyped on him back up in 08 and everything, but he just not what I thought he was. Every time he's had an opportunity, put himself in a position for Mayweather payday. And so, I mean, it is what it is with him. But you can call it racist or whatever, but as far as from my perspective of being pro-black, I would like to see Floyd offer one of them paydays to some brothers out there that's in the game.
Right. But you know what, Jamal, I agree with you on that, Jamal, but I'm going to keep it real. I would love to see Floyd go out on this farewell fight against GGG because he's going to beat that boy so easy. And this is another fight that everybody think, it's always another Floyd. After he beat GGG, they're going to ask him to fight the Avenger. Because there's always somebody new that can't beat Floyd.
Well, I understand that, but Floyd ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. He's not coming up. You always hear the young casuals and the haters trying to treat Floyd like he got another obstacle to climb. Floyd can rest on his laurels right now. And I wouldn't give a middleweight that hasn't fought anybody of relevance a Mayweather payday, no matter what.
Yeah, that's true.
Triple G calling out welterweights and whatnot, it just shows that he's a punk as far as I'm concerned. He got too many fights sitting on the table at 168, even if he is scared or afraid of Ward, that he could be fighting. And at 165 pounds when he fought in the Olympics, he has no problem going to 168.
If he's not going to fight Laura, Ward, or Canelo Cotto, then fight Kid Chocolate. That'll be a good fight for him. But a good name, what I'm saying? If you beat Kid Chocolate, then people going to be like, okay, GGG is about something. But damn, you got to get in there with somebody. Kid Chocolate will be a good opponent for him.
Yeah, but he don't deserve a Mayweather payday. That's off the table as far as I'm concerned.
All right, hey y'all, I'm gonna go with a little break here right quick. I'm gonna have a couple of commercials to run, and then I'm gonna go through some news, and then we'll talk about the news topics that I have. So just bear with me for a minute, y'all. All right?
All right.
All right, hold on. The Cold Hard Truth on Sports every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. on the MRN Broadcasting Channel on Blog Talk Radio. The executioner, Matthew Long, talks about different topics in sports, which include football, basketball, baseball, hockey, boxing, and more. The executioner also invites special guests to talk about different topics within the sports world. So be sure that you catch the Cold Hard Truth on Sports every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. on the MRN Broadcasting Channel on Blog Talk Radio. Football talk like you've never heard it before. Possibly one of the funniest podcasts in sports today. That's right, the CMT Firestorm Football Talk Show every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. right here on Blog Talk Radio. We have Cali Mike, Chi-Town, Carcel Mathis, and the mouth of the South, Tony Watley. They give you a different perspective of football that may not be found anywhere else. You may also catch the callers with some classic lines as well.
There's a blackout level.
What is it?
What is it? I don't know exactly what it is off the top of my head.
Okay, I know you're in front of your computer right now. Look it up.
I'm about to look it up right now, all right?
National blackout level.
I never said national blackout level, liar.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes,
no, I didn't.
Okay, Florida blackout level. Whatever blackout level you want to look it up. I'll wait.
You can't compare a fifth-year quarterback to a 20-year quarterback. How do you compare Cam Newton to Peyton Manning? That's impossible.
I don't even think Cam Newton's going to get a contract extension.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the worst franchise in the National Football League. The worst franchise in the National Football League.
The difference between Jameis Winston, Matt Ryan, and Cam Newton is Jameis Winston has the ability to lead a team to a championship.
Once again, people, the CMT Firestone Football Talk Show every Wednesday night on the MRN Broadcasting Network.
Jameis Winston is just stupid.
All right, we're back here on the we're back here live on the Box Radio Show here. We got probably about 40 minutes of overtime left here. So, real quick, I'm going to go through, news that is happening around the sport of boxing here real quick. We did go through the thing about, Errol Spence and how Floyd said that Errol Spence is ready for fighting Thurman right now, and Thurman's response was basically that was an insult to him or a show of disrespect. So we're going to see if we're going to figure out why he says that. So that's one thing. The other thing was that WBO middleweight champion Andy Lee will be going up against Billy Joe Saunders in Ireland for the WBO middleweight championship. That's going to be scheduled for September 12th. So he'll be defending his championship in Ireland, which is probably first there for a home country guy to defend his title in Ireland. So we'll be watching out for that. The other news was coming up from last week. The LA Times reported that the possible fight between Miguel Cotto and Saul Canelo Alvarez will be on November 21st or November 28th. Sites are basically the usual sites, either in New York City, Dallas, or Houston, Texas, or basically at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. So those are the three main things that are happening within the sport of boxing. So, is there anything else that y'all wanted to touch on with those three topics?
I ain't really. Did you cover? Did you hear about also the fight between Rios and well, it's two fights. You didn't say that's down there. Kell Brook and Rios.
Yeah, I mean they were talking
90% done.
Yeah, 90%. Yeah. It wasn't necessarily a lock yet, but that one was also scheduled to have on there. So we'll be on the lookout for that one.
And I don't know how serious this Mike Tyson and James Toney fight is, but I've been hearing a lot of websites report that.
That one ain't serious. That one ain't serious. I don't see that one happening. Not at all.
But that's why we need to have that's why we need to have a boxer pension fund, so we don't even hear mess like that.
For real.
Them dudes need some money, that's all.
Tyson is James Toney. Somebody just say that? Like, really? I thought I was high or something. Tyson is James Toney.
I mean, really? That was news. That was news that was on somebody's website a few days ago. Like they said that Mike Tyson and James Toney were,
To me, that's just like George Foreman and Larry Holmes fighting right now.
I can see them having a competition or eating chicken or some shit, but I can't see them in the ring. I'm sorry.
Yeah, James Toney said it, man, on the Ellie Setback YouTube channel. He was interviewing him. He said it.
Yeah.
Like, he was saying he was serious, or he was saying that somebody just said that shit.
He was saying that they in talks right now that it's 90% done, and
What up, really, lady?
I ain't heard nothing from Tyson.
I'm on the phone.
I don't know nobody that's going to watch your Jared Talk.
Yeah, on Sirius Radio.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that's. Yeah, I don't see anything being serious about a James Toney and Mike Tyson fight. Right?
Nah. That's the Jared Talk fight, man.
Like they said with that whole thing with Mitt Romney and Evander Holyfield, like, man, even though that was charity, like that one was ridiculous from the jump. You know what I mean?
Shit, that's crazy.
So I feel the same way about. So I feel the same way about this James Toney Mike Tyson thing. Like, that ain't gonna happen, man. They wouldn't even dare do that. But I do know that, you know, a few weeks ago there was that whole thing with Oscar De La Hoya. Remember that whole thing with Oscar De La Hoya? They said that they were trying to get him.
Right?
Well, Triple G was the thing that where they interviewed him on camera when he was going to his car, but also they were talking about, you know, him, Roy Jones, Bernard Hopkins, and Shane Mosley. Like having a round tournament with those four.
It's a new era in boxing, man. These old dudes not to just go on and let these young guys have it, man. You see Mayweather, he already know. That's why I'm gonna relinquish all my titles. Let these young dudes. It's a new era, man. You know what I'm saying? These Roy Jones, Bernard, all of them. Go.
But they need the money, though. Whereas Floyd put himself in a position that his transition from the ring is going to be a promoter, so he's locked into the money.
Yeah. Right, and he's, you know, without Heyman. And the other thing about Oscar is that, you know, I've heard that a lot of his high-profile guys are being signed by Outgame and Rock Nation, and other promotional companies. So he really doesn't have that much left. That's what I heard.
Yeah, because a lot of his fighters, a lot of Golden Boy's fighters, you know, most of them, they signed the Golden Boy because of Richard Schaefer.
Yep. That's
a lot of the fighters that's on Golden Boy signed because of Richard Schaefer, because they like the way Richard Schaefer basically set up fights and, you know, get your name out there. Oscar
Schaefer was the man handling things at Golden Boy because Oscar basically became a figurehead. Schaefer even said that Oscar was never in any meetings or anything.
He was just a face. He was just a face of the company.
And then also, too, people like Schaefer and Heyman and all other people like that that's making it happen in boxing, realistically, who wants to work under a crackhead?
Exactly.
Not only a crackhead, a tranny. A
tranny crackhead. Come on, man. That's worse than it. Oh my goodness. You're Latino crack, you gay, and you a cross dresser, and you smoke crack. You fucked up, dog.
But you know what? Though I'm gonna tell you, Oscar don't have no more fighters. All Oscar fighters left to Al Heyman. The only fighter Oscar got is Canelo. That's why he took him over to HBO. He don't have no more fighters.
Hey, hold on, guys. I'm trying to see who got the.
And because most of the Golden Boy fighters.
They signed Al Heyman.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug, and they don't want to mess with
when they signed the Golden Boy, it was because of Richard Schaefer. It wasn't because of Oscar. It was because of Richard Schaefer. And now Richard Schaefer is basically getting blackballed by Golden Boy now. Like, he know what's up.
Now, he got sued. He got sued by Golden Boy. You know, Golden Boy had like a $300 million lawsuit.
And it goes to show how discombobulated Golden Boy was. They were saying they had Schaefer under contract, but in court they couldn't produce the contract.
Right.
Right.
Cocaine is a whole drug.
I heard like a lot of feedback coming from Eddie, so I had to like put you on mute for a little bit. I'll put you on in about like 3 or 4 minutes. But real quick about Richard Schaefer, right? One of the things that I also was looking at was that when Golden Boy was trying to handle Canelo, and a lot of the fights that Canelo was, going for or going after, like Oscar didn't want him to do that, but Canelo wanted it, and Schaefer basically gave the go-ahead. So it was like, Canelo went to Schaefer and just said that was his final call over Oscar De La Hoya. So De La Hoya didn't like that, and that was basically what started the spat between De La Hoya and Schaefer.
And another thing, if you notice, Oscar wasn't at the De La Hoya. Oscar wasn't at the Canelo Mayweather fight.
And he gave Alvarez a so-called blueprint, then went to rehab on him.
But see, ain't nobody give you the blueprint on how to start smoking crack now.
But how you gonna get a blueprint when he utilized it and lost his damn self? They're gonna say cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say.
But right now, Oscar is the Rick James of boxing.
Yeah, yes. No, that's too kind. That's too kind, man. That's too kind. Wow. That's too kind, man.
Or he's Julian from Below Zero.
He's the boxer.
Julian from Below Zero, because didn't Julian get caught tricking for some coke?
Oh, shit.
And that sent him out to Oscar in a room coked out, dressing like a bitch.
Wow. I feel pretty.
Because, no, I'll take it a step further. I believe that night when he was dressing like a bitch and letting that woman take pictures of him, I wouldn't be surprised if she was rubbing dildos up in his ass and everything that night.
She had a finger in his booty, yo.
Yep, he probably can't hold his shit now. He wearing Pampers.
Hey, that was real funny, man. Real funny. I was going to see that on the PBC on CBS that was on earlier today, where Barthélemy got his win over DeMarco. I noticed that they had another card coming up real soon with our favorite guy, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And
everybody laughed.
I had a laugh at that one, yo.
And then, but my thing with Chavez after his last fight, oh man, I still can't forget it to this day. When they had that weigh-in for Mayweather and Pacquiao, and some of us like hung out after that weigh-in, and then we saw all the commentators, and then we figured out when we saw Chavez out there, and we just went on we were just on him for like endless minutes. We were like, why you quit?
Yo, that boy's a pothead, man. It ain't nothing wrong with smoking pot, but that dude right there.
Listen, I smoke pot. I ain't never.
Yeah, I would like to hang out with Chavez one time, because I'm the biggest weed head in the world.
I don't know, bro. I got that West Indian me shit. I'm doing night shit.
You see, I'm from here in Indiana. There be some weed here. I'm at home for the next few weeks. We have a Black Expo boxing tournament and everything that we're sponsoring here. But I'll be going back to where I live at now in Hawaii. And I'm going to tell you, that's the best weed in the world.
Yeah, you ain't never lied, because my wife used to live in Hawaii, and she used to get fucked up. She don't get fucked up no more because they ain't got that type of weed over here.
No, I remember the first time I smoked some weed in Hawaii, it was like I had got high for the first time.
Jeez.
And
they got the Reggie over there, that's dirtball cheap. I mean, I know we shouldn't be talking about this, but I love weed next to water and food.
Hey, man.
Hey, that dispensary weed they got out of Cali, that shit gonna make that a month.
Weed for the body.
Somebody like Chavez will bring that out of you, because, I mean, that dude Chavez Jr. would rather be like Shaggy from the Scooby-Doo series than to be a boxer, man. I mean, come on.
No, hey, Jamal, Chavez rather be like Ricky Williams. He'd rather be like Ricky Williams. Y'all remember
That's a good one right there, like Ricky. But Chavez was basically thrust into this because of his name and whatnot. He grew up with a gold and silver spoon because his daddy had money. He's not dedicated.
No, he's not.
And one of the most important and significant ingredients in weed is not the THC. the most powerful component of marijuana is something called fuck it. Because whenever you smoke some weed, good weed, it makes you say fuck it. If you're supposed to study and go to school, you'll say fuck it. If you want to go to work, you smoke some good weed, you say fuck it. If you're supposed to train,
into a refrigerator, you just say fuck it. I don't give a fuck about nobody. I'm hungry right now.
That doesn't mix with professionalism and being on top of your game at the level in which Chavez is in boxing.
Right. He was so high against Sergio Martinez, that nigga realized he was in a boxing fight in the 12th round. And that's when he knocked him down 3 times.
Hey, yo, you know, when Sergio kept pushing him off him, right? Yeah, you know, when Sergio was pushing him off of him, he was smelling that shit.
Oh, man.
I wonder what he's doing, Kush or OG?
That nigga probably, you know what? His daddy used to hang out. His daddy used to hang out with the cocaine kingpin. What's his name?
Escobar.
Escobar. He probably put some of that shit up in that weed, that Colombian up in that weed.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised, yo. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
His daddy did it. His daddy did it.
And the weed is, he probably did put him on that, man. That's crazy.
I ain't even gonna hold you. You know how weed is to West Indians, right? Cocaine is like that to the Mexicans, yo.
We need to. Hey, you know what though? I don't want to change the subject real quick, but I need to say this real quick, Jamal. You need to do a show because everybody always talking about this era of boxing and the golden era of boxing. Them niggas in the golden era, they ducked and picked fighters just like these dudes did nowadays. It just was more prevalent now. You know what I'm saying?
Marcus?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, well,
like we need to have a show.
Brewster, if we were able to get him to call in and have and participate in that discussion, because he broke it down as far as this era talk better than anybody I've ever heard before. And a lot of times that era talk is an excuse to not give the props to the people that's running things right now. Because we talk about, like, for example, Duran, what elite fighter did he beat at welterweight? He beat Sugar Ray when Sugar Ray fought his fight, but when Sugar Ray fought the right fight, he made him quit. Hearn damn near decapitated him and made him defecate on himself when he was laying there, because Hearn said he thought he had killed him because old boy had shitted on himself when he was laying there. And you know when you die, you shit on yourself.
But you hear him say, he won 11 straight title fights against who though? You know what I'm saying?
That's my point.
When they say that about Duran, they don't
Floyd has a resume full of champions and future Hall of Famers. But then they try to discredit the era.
How long did Hearn defend his title? How many times did Hagler beat? He won about 17 some fights in a row against who though?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's why I hate that double standard. Every fight Floyd fights, he's fighting people that outweigh him and everything, but there's nothing he can do to please the people. For this era or any era, it takes some of the whole time to say they believe that Mayweather Jr. would have been a factor at 140, 147, and especially lightweight in any era. People talk about Duran as the greatest lightweight fighter of all time, but Escobar beat him at a lightweight.
Right.
Floyd actually beat more champions than Ali.
Greg brought up the point of, like, back in the day, even with the heavyweights, it was that, Ali was there, and of course you had your Fraziers and your Foremans, but basically other than that, who did he really fight? If you think about it.
But a lot of times though, fellas, tell me if I'm wrong on this. The people who use that argument are mostly casuals who haven't been in the game lately.
Right. That Floyd ain't fought nobody?
Right, because Floyd's been fighting professionally since '96. A lot of these casuals didn't start watching boxing until Pacquiao's steroid reign.
Yeah.
Right. But look, see, that's the thing about the Ali and Floyd talk. You can either you're gonna go by who's the greatest from skill level or from a statistical standpoint. Floyd Mayweather beat more champions than Ali. You know what I'm saying?
I always say like this, Marcus. Ali, by all means, is the greatest. For a lot of reasons that outside of the ring, that makes him the greatest, and he was a damn good fighter. But it's hard to argue against perfection. And there's a difference between the best ever and the greatest.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm 32. I'm probably a lot younger than y'all, and I'm gonna say this. Y'all probably let me have it or whatever. But I'm just gonna say it. That rope-a-dope was the stupidest technique ever used in boxing.
Y'all really think Muhammad Ali is the greatest of all time?
I think Floyd is the best ever. I think Muhammad Ali is the greatest as a title that he gets out of respect.
I think that rope-a-dope was the stupidest
he was
technique
robbed
ever
of his
used.
prime with that draft shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That always come into play because them years off, we don't know exactly what he would have done. At the same time, there was basically a competition for his belt.
Ali was my greatest fighter, though. Right. I remember when he fought Holmes. I literally cried.
They got that 30
Listen, Holmes was younger. He was his sparring partner. If anybody knew Ali, it was Holmes. It was Holmes.
Right.
He knew Ali straight up and down.
Mm-hmm.
So every weakness Ali had, he knew where to go. Plus, he was younger than him. Ali was up in his late 40s when he fought Holmes. That's why Mike Tyson did Holmes the way he did it. He said, because I did Holmes the way he did it. I respect Holmes, but Ali was my favorite. And when he did Ali, made me want to do the shit to him. And
he did speak the same way. Hey, he did speak the same way. Trevor Berbick the same way. Trevor Berbick was the old.
He wanted Trevor Berbick because he wanted that belt, because that solidified everything that Cuss had said to him over those years that Cuss was raising him, that he was going to be
Berbick
that
champion. Ali ass too.
Let me ask y'all something about Iron Mike.
What's up?
My perspective of Mike, I always hear people say he was okay till he got with Don King. But I believe he was fucked from the minute that they gave Customato custody of him when he was 11 years old. All he did was took the 11-year-old boy up to the Catskill Mountains, taught him how to fight. It's against the law to have a kid 11 years old and you don't send him to school or anything. He was a commodity his whole life. And to say Don King fucked him up, that's crazy, because when he married Robin Givens, he was under the guise that he was worth $55 million. Robin Givens went and opened up all the books. He was worth $111 million. So he was keeping the bigger piece of the money. He had been getting fucked over forever. But Don King, whenever he does anything, they blow it up out of proportion. But old Don, he made it known that boxing was a lot more lucrative than what it was when he paid Ali and Frazier their money when he promoted their first fight. That was the first time $5 million ever made it to the ring.
All right, now let me get on that first part about Tyson. Now, Tyson was 13 by the time he got to Customato. He already went through with Billy Stewart. Billy Stewart got him going, and then by the time he was 13, he went to Cuss. Now, when Cuss got him, Cuss challenged that energy that Mike had, the energy that he was doing bad, robbing people, knocking people out. He challenged that energy into boxing. So Cuss basically took the mind frame of this young motherfucking beast into, okay, we're going to challenge that into the ring. So now you're a professional killer in the ring, not on the street. The shit that you do in the street, you bring that into the ring, but make sure you got the mind state. Now, as far as him getting fucked by Don King, he did. Don King seen that the contract that Mike had with Jimmy Jacobs and Bill Clayton was fucked up. They was getting most of the money. They was putting shit in the Mike's account. But it was really when Jimmy Jacobs died. When Jimmy Jacobs died, that's when Bill Clinton
strung Mike Tyson's money out amongst everybody. Mike Tyson actually lost a lawsuit from Kevin Rooney on a promise that Customato said Kevin Rooney would benefit from Mike Tyson as a pro.
Yeah.
And I think it was $4.5 million or $4.7 million. that Mike Tyson had to pay Kevin Rooney years after Rooney was training him.
You know what?
Look, hey, let me say this real quick.
Kevin Rooney. Let me just say this and I'm done. Kevin Rooney, when he had Mike was sharp. Mike ain't lose shit. Not a damn thing. Kevin Rooney was that last piece of custom model. Now, the only person that would have been higher than Kevin Rooney was Tony Atlas, and we all know Tony hit the door when Mike touched his fist fell off. So
see, let me say this.
The line was Kevin Rooney.
Look, I'm gonna say this. Everybody always talking about what Don King did to Mike Tyson. I'm gonna keep it real. Don King ain't did nothing more than what that white man did to Tyson, because that white man was the first man to use it. He took advantage of a vulnerable kid and basically made a slave out of him and created a monster. That's really what he did. You know what I'm saying? He was the first dude to use it. Don King just kind of like took, just, you know what I'm saying, basically just did the same thing Custom Model did, finished when Custom Model started. He already was messed up by the time he got to Don King because Custom Model already fucked his head up. You know
when you have a teenager in his developmental years and you don't teach him how to read and write, and he's not civil at all, if he wants some pussy, y'all go get him a prostitute or something. He got no game or anything. Mike Tyson was fucked from the jump, man.
From the jump, you don't want him to teach him how to read and write because now he gonna be up on game about these goddamn contracts that you finna create. You hiring people, put them in his corner.
Business, though. Mike
was
never
about
his business. Listen, you like me, you get money. You won't want to know where your money comes from. That's anybody, even little kids. You tell them, here, we gonna give you this, we gonna give you that. Okay, well, how much I'm getting? Where I'm getting it from? This, that, the other. So, you said.
All right, hold on real quick. We got less than 13 minutes left on this show, so we're going to close at about 9:30. So we're going to go back to what Brian was saying about Mike Tyson, and then I got another question about Tyson overall. So, Brian, go continue what you were saying.
Mike was he was all right. Cuss body. And then after Cuss died, that's mentally messed him up. Bill Clayton came in, straight raping. Don King came in, straight raping. Robert Gibbs came in, fucked his head up. Mike was fucked from the jump, but Mike put himself in that fucking predicament.
Well, that's kind of true, and part of that is like touched on this documentary called Champs. I don't know if y'all saw it. I think it was on AMC.
It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix.
And that one had it had him, Evander Holyfield, and Bernard Hopkins. That was a very good documentary. A very good one.
You know, Bernard, that Lou DeBella motherfucker cheated Bernard out of his money.
On a serious station. And I have all the people on my Facebook boxing group.
Yeah, now we got what you call it.
I got a group called Boxing with the Brothers.
We got but the other thing that I wanted to touch on with Mike Tyson is that a lot of people are saying that favorite Tyson say that he was like one of the greatest heavyweights ever. But once you look at the list that they have going on out there, they don't really even put him amongst the top 20 or 25.
You know why?
Why?
Because ever since that rape conviction and ever since the biting of the ear, they praise Tyson, but they talk about and they try to scratch him out of history. Basically, they talking a big good one. They build him up, but they still assassinate his character every time you get. Yeah, Floyd's the new nigga now, but Tyson still gonna be that nigga.
Yeah, I think part of that is like what you said. It's similar to, how those baseball writers treat, those guys that went through the steroid area during that time. Is that since they did what they did, they're not allowed in the Hall of Fame, or they're trying to put them at a separate, part of the hall. But the point of it is that
they make it hard
really
for
have that steroid. Yeah, well, if they didn't really have that steroid era, then baseball wouldn't have got to the level that it did. It wouldn't have been able to get the money that it did if it wasn't for that. So you can't just necessarily erase all of that away, because if you did, you wouldn't have been as popular as you were, or some of y'all baseball writers wouldn't still have a job. So that's the point on that one. So.
But I believe when Mark McGwire was using the steroids, they was turning a blind eye to it. When Barry Bonds started doing it,
him and Canseco was
then the Black Watch came out.
Now, if you remember when Mark McGuire and Jose Canseco was on the Oakland A's, and they was in the World Series, they was known as home run hitters. These motherfuckers is passing the fight. That's what the fuck they was doing. But there ain't nobody saying nothing to this motherfucker about to go for the record.
That's pretty much what it was. But like,
but you know, when they laid out that net trying to catch Barry Bonds, they ended up implicating a lot of their heroes that they really didn't want to catch in their effort pursuing Barry Bonds to blackball and smear his name. They end up hearing about Roger Clemens, A-Rod, and all them other people that were cheating.
Danny Ramirez, the Dodgers, they didn't call everybody that they didn't want to catch, and still ain't catch Bonds.
Who was the guy that said on that hearing that he didn't use steroids at all?
What's the name?
Manny Ramirez.
Is that like that?
No, not Man Ram. It wasn't Man Ram. It was somebody else.
I know. I remember who you talking about. I can't remember his name.
It was a pitcher. It was the pitcher.
It was a pitcher.
What are you talking about, Andy Pettit?
No, it wasn't.
I'm thinking damn.
It wasn't a pitcher.
What did you say?
The dude, I'm thinking he was a position player.
Yeah, he was a position player.
Hold on. Sometime when
he performed at the hearing. He was acting like he was totally upset and everything about even the concept of accusing him on steroids. Then when the truth came out, that motherfucker was roided up like some bitch.
Oh, that was the kid that played for Milwaukee Brewers, wasn't it?
Oh, Rafael Palmeiro. Yeah, that's who it was. Rafael Palmeiro. That guy just said.
Oh, for the Orioles.
I have never used steroids and never will use steroids. It was almost like an insult to him.
Oh no, it was also Roger Clemens. Roger Clemens said he denied it too.
Yeah, but see, they set him up. The guy still had the surrender for him.
Yeah. Roger Clemens stood on the stand and said, "I never used steroids too."
Yep. Yeah, they don't the hell out of Canseco, but he was telling the truth.
Yeah, that whole thing helped baseball. So I don't know what the baseball writers are talking about, and Bud Selig was in on it too. So I'm like, he was the one that let all that stuff go, and then he want to turn around and condemn on them players. I'm like, if they didn't do that, baseball wouldn't be where it is. You know, so
they
you might as well just put it in the
Hall of Fame. They need to put Canseco in the Hall of Fame just strictly off that, because he revolutionized the sport. He cleaned it up single-handed. He needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
All right, we're gonna get back on the.
88.3, right?
Yeah, we're gonna get back on the box right quick.
Somebody changed
one of
the
the
station.
things that we're gonna get on is the whole thing with Nicholas Walters. That was a couple weeks ago. Hold on a minute. With Nicholas Walters a couple weeks ago, he had his fight over at 125 and ended up being overweight for that fight. So he went in there overweight. He scored the win, scored the victory, and after that, he basically said that he won't necessarily be at 125 anymore, and he'll just go up to 130. And with that being said, that Nick's is a potential fight between him and Vasyl Lomachenko, who has had extensive amateur career and only has 5 fights under his belt, but was still fighting world champion within his second or third fight. So that potential fight is out of contention. And also another thing with the fight, Carl Frampton is another guy that's going to be on Premier Boxing Champion soon, as he recently signed with Al Heyman there, and so with Carl Frampton signing with Premier Boxing Champions, you won't see Frampton fighting Rigo anytime soon. So those are 2 potential matchups that could have been really interesting that kind of got nixed right off the top. So those are the things there that are going on. So we got about 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes left. So if y'all have anything on those last 2 points about Frampton and Nicholas Walters, basically, Walters getting overweight and Frampton signing with Al Heyman. Anyone got something to say on those two things?
Francis Arnold, Al Heyman. Al Heyman, man,
he'll be
hey, that dude cleaned up the sport, man. That dude signing every fighter, man. I don't know what to say about Al Heyman. You never know what that dude up to. You know what I'm saying? You never know what he up to.
Yeah. It's he is cleaning up the sport and making boxing a lot more exciting now. I mean, 2015. He had his first premier boxing champions card on March 7th, and here we are in June, and people are talking boxing much more than they used to over the past 5 years or so. It isn't just Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao and nothing else. It's much more than that now because of what he did. So that's a big thing right there. That's a big thing right there.
Yeah.
Anything else on that?
Who's these fighters? Who's fighting on July 21st next month? It's gonna be on one of these shows. It's so many because Al Heyman, he came with the regular TV. Now everybody else is following, so I can't keep up with it. I don't know who.
Well, they do have stuff on Spike TV sometimes. I think Top Rank does that because I've seen one of the recent cards that they had with on Top Rank, and I forgot who the guy was that Broner defeated earlier. He was like on one of those cards. So they had, I think so, something like that. But they had Tim Bradley commentating on that one. So that's another thing where you'll be able to see those things. And Golden Boy has something going on Fox Sports 1 or whatever it is. So that's another thing that we have there. Right now I'm gonna basically like close out this show. We had like about 3 minutes left, but I want to thank all of y'all that called in. Most of y'all coming in from that Facebook group, Boxing with the Brothers. So, we're gonna continue to talk boxing on that message board right there. So, y'all be sure to see, us going back and forth about different things in the sport of boxing on that thing, and make sure that y'all catch us, next Sunday at 7:30. We're gonna try to get Travis Walker back on for that. And on that note, like I always say in boxing, the main point is to hit and not get hit. And on that note, y'all, I'm out.